Hello everybody and welcome to the highlights of day one of the first test match between Australia and Sri Lanka here at Pallekele Stadium in Kandy. Beautiful day here in Kandy, and the pitch, well, it's a nice dry pitch here in Kandy, and a lot of the captains have been thinking about playing two spinners because they think it will crack up early on, but as you can see, a fair bit of grass has been taken off and it looks very, very dry. Overcast conditions here today. And the toss of the coin, Angelo Matthews called, and he called correctly. And he won the toss and he elected to bat first. Quick look at the two teams as they line up. A couple of changes there for Sri Lanka. Two players on debut. De Silva coming in batting number 6, and also Sandrakhan, the left arm leg spinner, comes into the attack as well. So Angelo Matthews will be opening the bowling with Pradeep, and Chanabal will be coming in and batting 4. We're looking for some runs in the middle order for Sri Lanka. Just the one change for Australia. Stephen O'Keefe, the left arm spinner, comes into the lineup. Great to see Mitchell Starc back into the Australian colours as well after a long layoff with an injury. Let's hand you over to the commentators for this opening session of play. Alan Border, with him, Russell Arnold.
3 slips in a gully for Dimuth Karunaratne. On his way, Mitchell Starc. Intention clear. And of course, the right thing, also as an opening batsman, AB, bat from the non-striker's end.
Well, there's a slight mix-up there between the calling, very first ball of the match. You don't want to run out, do you? So, but they were just a little bit hesitant, obviously keen to get off the mark and get the scoreboard ticking over.
What do you think of that first ball?
Well, it was nice and straight. I suppose from Mitchell Starc's point of view, he'd like to get a little bit of swing with this new ball, use the new ball well.
Gets fuller. That's when he's really dangerous, swinging it at pace, and he gets that ball to swing late. Just tough to pick up. And he's reacted straight away. The first ball that he bowled was on a length. We saw nothing happen. The ball kind of holed up in the pitch. And he reacts straight away. No swing, but he's adjusted that length. Now did that swing? He's given him. Wants to have a look. He's just thinking, is it sliding down leg side? He's asked for it. But it's very dangerous with Mitchell Starc, who usually gets it to straighten. He gets a bit of swing.
Well, my gut feel when I saw the decision live was that it wasn't out, just sliding down the leg side. But unfortunately for the batsman, it only just has to nick the stump, and that's the dangerous thing.
But this was much fuller than the one we saw in the previous over. So that's a fair delivery, so the umpire, Chris Gaffney, would move on. And since he's been given out on the field, if it's clipping, it stays out. It's got to miss the stumps. Here we go. In line. Australia strike. Good decision from umpire Richard Kettleborough. Sri Lanka lose a review as well, and they lose Dimuth Karunaratne, who's on his way back. It's been a good passage of play for Australia, with both bowlers building pressure from both ends. Off the mark with a classy shot, Kusal Mendis. First boundary of the innings.
Okay, I see what you mean. Second ball. And no problems, just slightly wide of the off stump and crunched it through point.
He's not a power player. He'll clip you onto the onside. He's there. He's got a few shots, and it's good to watch when he gets going. Flipped away. Clipped away for 4.
And Josh Hazlewood is down that final leg. He made an absolute meal of this. It's flicked away in the air. It was just bouncing in front of Josh Hazlewood. He'll blame they got a bad bounce there, but that's just, should get something behind that. It's a terrible feeling.
Given. Played across the line. He shouldn't be reviewing that. If he's got an inside edge, he certainly would know it and he would have gone up straight away. Nice and full from Josh Hazlewood. He's been timed out. He wanted to go upstairs, but you're given 15 seconds and it's gone past that 15 seconds. So Kusal Mende is on his way. Promising start. Two quality shots, couple of quality shots, but Hazlewood having the last say. Full and straight.
We'll have a look at the serve. It's very, very straight. I suppose it's just whether there's any inside edge. It doesn't look like there's any bat involved, and that was just cannoning into middle and off. So he goes for 8, and the score now 15 for 2.
Josh Hazlewood to continue. Edged, and did that carry? Yes, it did, according to Adam Voges. He's claimed the catch at slip. Good low catch as well. And Silver's on his way.
Beautiful piece of bowling this from Josh Hazlewood. And Silver just hung the bat out there. But the great thing with this is it carried. And it carried right through to Adam Voges. Took it low and down to his left. Didn't really need to play at it. Yeah, straight in the hands, and a good catch from Adam Voges. It's never easy. And Australia pick up their third. And Josh Hazlewood gets his second. 18 for 3, and Silver departs for 4.
Well, it was uppish. It was an ambitious shot, and he's got 4 for it.
Yeah, it was a bit of luck involved in that shot, but the good thing with Matthews is he's so big and strong, and he went through with the shot. The worst thing he could have done is not follow through on it and just chipped it to cover. But it's full and it's wide. He went after it. Not a lot of foot movement there with the front foot, but he was good enough to get enough bat on it.
Josh Hazlewood, exemplary figures from him. He's going to get a break, though, now from our commentary box end. And Mitchell Stark, who started off with 4 overs from the opposite end of this Pallekele International Cricket Stadium, switches round. And straight away asks a question of Angelo Matthews. It was taken behind the stumps, I think, by Peter Neville.
Yeah, well, they weren't interested behind the stumps. It definitely hit something, and I'm not even sure if it carried through to Pete Neville. We'll have a look at it here. Well, it didn't carry anyway. I thought I might have clipped the back leg. Maybe the bat and the back leg anyway, but it doesn't matter. They didn't go through on the full.
Chandimal's on 11, Matthews on 15. Out in the middle, Steve Smith being very proactive, playing around with his field all the time. 2 men in front, catching position. Yeah, I was talking of the point that you got to make the bowlers, put them under pressure, change their lengths over. Now this is what Matthews should be trying to do. Now look at that length. He was on the front foot trying to pay it. But similar length is quickly onto the back foot, which gives you that extra time on a slower pitch. That's number 4. Lunging at that one, Angelo Matthews, a bit of glove. And Steve Smith doing the rest.
Well, the spinners are coming into play very, very early in this game. This is still the first session. And let's see what happened there. There was a bit of bounce for sure. Matthews coming forward. Definite bounce. Took the shoulder of the bat. So that might be what batsman might be looking or batsman could expect on this pitch. There's some turn, there's some bounce. And the captain goes big wicket, out for 15. Sri Lanka 43 for 4.
First runs in Test cricket for Dhananjaya De Silva. And how does he do it? Uses his feet and down the ground he goes.
Well, that's a bold start. Good use of the feet. Get to the pitch of the ball. Make it look easy as you like. Always the way he plays, Dhananjaya Silva. He's an aggressive player. Likes to play his shots. And this time, excellent use of the feet. Lovely follow through.
Hitting through the line. With the face of the bat. Going towards long off. Gets the short ball. 50 for Sri Lanka. Dhananjaya De Silva coming back for 2, and that bit of space was created by the fact that he used his feet the ball before.
Yeah, just trying to put some pressure on O'Keefe.
Oh, lovely shot. Wasn't all that short, but there's time if you can get onto your back foot. De Silva looking very good.
This is the way he plays. He will pounce on anything loose. And this is his normal game where he goes after the bowling when there are short deliveries or there are loose deliveries, and he's particularly good square of the wicket. Just getting on the back foot, hitting it through mid-wicket.
Pulled away, beautifully timed. It races away to the fence, and De Silva looking very impressive on debut.
Well, this is a great shot. Obviously, he's a stroke player, having made his debut for Sri Lanka in 2020 cricket. But that is just classic. Banged in short from Hazelwood and just thumped firmly in front of square. It's always a good sign when you get the ball in front of square.
Oh, well fielded. Oh, would have been run out too. David Warner diving to his left. You know, he's got that broken thumb, but that didn't stop him at all. And then a shot at the stumps. Just needed someone at the stumps to take the barrels off, but they couldn't get back there in time.
Brilliant work from Warner. This is just sensational. Huge dive to his left we don't see. And then shy at the stumps, misses by a long way, and Joe Burns hustling in, couldn't quite get to the stumps in time. So just some excellent out cricket. Firstly from Warner. Burns did a good job backing up, but that's just great work and nearly produced something special.
Edged away, beautiful catch. What about that from Pete Neville? It was never going to carry the first slip, but just the instinct, and to get two hands on it as well, and well bowled from Josh Hazlewood. He has been impressive this morning.
He certainly has. Chandimal looking very dangerous at the crease, and that's just really good bowling from Josh Hazlewood. Pitched the ball up, got a little bit of a way movement, and catches the edge, and Neville takes a very good snare. And the 5th wicket goes down. Hazlewood celebrates, quite rightly so. That's his 3rd. He's done a good job, and not a lot of celebrations there in the crowd.
Yeah, would have easily gone to first slip, I should say. So Chandimal to bit of wicket, he goes for 15, 67 for 5. Gee, that's close. Very close. Well, this could be Stephen Smith's opportunity to use one of his referrals. Unless he thought he hit it, but I thought that was very, very close straight away. Yep, he's gone for it. I think it's a good one too. I definitely would have referred it. Pereira just sort of half stepped forward and looked a bit late on it.
Well, that's a little bit of bat involved. My initial reaction was it's a good shout from the Australians.
So it's a legal delivery. That's no problem with that. I reckon it pitches in line. Pereira half step. Inside edge. See they have it. Richard Kettleborough giving the nod out.
Straight round the wicket to the right-handers. Maybe he feels he just gets his better rhythm doing that.
That's through. This time it will go to the boundary. Smacked away. That is beautifully played from Pereira. He got onto that so early.
This lad hasn't played a lot of Test cricket, but he's obviously someone who likes to play his shots. And he just arrived at the crease. It's just before the luncheon break. Just smoked that in front of square.
He got his cap from Sanath Jayasuriya. And this one a bit of room. And through the offside this time. Beautifully struck from Pereira.
Well, Pereira's not worried about trying to bat it out to lunch. It's in his wheelhouse. He's playing his shots. A couple through the onside, and that one just off the front foot and smashed it in front of point. Timing, fantastic.
Edged straight away after the interval. And Kushal Pereira will pick up runs. Long chase for Mitchell Starc. Just pulls it back. And they'll come through for 3. So encouraging signs for Lions straight away after the break. And alongside me, Roshan Abasinghe.
It's certainly excellent delivery to start off. It turned off almost the off-stump line, I thought. Got a bit of turn and bounce as well. That's the thing.
Burns takes the catch. Yes, the finger goes up. So what a start this is for Australia after the interval. De Silva goes. He looked so good before the break. But Lion strikes.
That's a terrible start. You couldn't have asked for a worse start from a Sri Lankan point of view. He did get some turn and was looking to turn it away on the onside. A fairly soft dismissal, inside edge onto the thigh pad. And it's again that little bit of turn from Lion and also that extra bounce. And Dhananjay De Silva, after looking very good in his debut innings, out for 24. Sri Lanka now 87 for 6. Dilruwan Pereira is an off-spinner himself, so he'll know a thing or two about off-spin bowling.
Bowling knife.
And he can bat. And also Brian will be interested to note that he started his career in one-day cricket as an opening batsman. That was in Australia. He's a reasonably accomplished batsman. Oh, that stayed down. That stayed down. He's gone. So 2 wickets in the first over. That ball staying down, and Dilruwan Pereira's feet went nowhere.
10 seconds, lads.
Well, they're thinking about a review, but I don't think it's really necessary. In fact, yes, indeed, Dilruwan Pereira walks off, and you can't blame him. That looked absolutely dead live. And certainly my impression was that'll be a very straightforward decision for Richard Kettleborough. I'm guessing the replay is going to confirm that. Yes, indeed. Kept a little bit low, hit around the shin area. Back rather than forward, perhaps. Disappointment for the young fans and disappointment for Dilruwan Pereira. Out for a duck, and Sri Lanka are in tatters. 87 for 7. Well, Sri Lanka are still short of their lowest score in a test match against Australia. That was 97 in Darwin. Series at the top end. 2004. Oh, he's bowled him! Offering no shot. The ball just skidding on, not turning. And Nathan Lyon is having an absolute field day out there since lunch.
Certainly playing for some turn. The previous ball did turn. And he was looking to try and leave a delivery that was pitched in line with the off stump. Just didn't get his foot across. You could see that off stump. And he was also hoping that the ball will turn. So completely didn't judge the line well. So he was leaving a ball that was on the off stump, which he thought was outside the off stump. That's the only explanation I could give. 94 for 8. Kushal Pereira out for 20.
It wasn't all that convincing from Ranganaharath. He's got it away for 4 though, and that brings up the 100.
Something to cheer about for Sri Lanka. Just getting to the 100. Was onto him quickly. And Herath is a good cutter and a puller. Very useful low order batsman. Onto him quite quickly. And, didn't really have too much of space to free his arms. Had to get onto it quickly.
Good Yorker. Appeal for LBW from behind the wicket. They rather fancy it might have hit boot and then bat. Stark less sure. They're considering a review, and in fact they are going upstairs.
Well, the thinking it was boot first, I think, obviously. There was a sound. So one wonders whether it was an inside edge or the bat hitting the ground or the boot.
Chris Gaffney is third umpire. It's a legal delivery, no problems about that. What did it hit first? Did it hit the toe? Or did it pitch just in front of the toe? Very difficult to tell down the wicket. We might have to look at a side-on angle there, Roshan.
Yeah, I think so. I think you'll have to look at it from side on as to whether it hit the boot or whether it really bounced and then hit the bat. It's difficult to say from here. Well, that might give you a better idea. Seem to have hit the boot first, or at least that's how I see it. This will tell us. What do you reckon, Brad?
Chris Gaffney, I think, is thinking that might have just hit the toe first. Let's have a look at Hawkeye then. I think it's going to be pretty conclusive that this is going to hit the middle stump. Indeed it is. So on that basis, with Chris Gaffney content that the ball hit the boot before the bat, I think that's going to be out. Indeed it is.
After a long deliberation, Ranganaharath has been sent on his way. Stark has had his man, LBW. So it hit the boot first. And Sri Lanka sinking further. Ranganaharath out for 6. It's 100 for 9.
Well, that's a decent shot. He didn't go for the Yorker, Mitchell Stark. Sandakan stepped away initially, but the short delivery has made it easier for him to cut. No doubt about that. I would have thought the Yorker won't be too far away.
Perfect. Created the space for himself. Yeah, I was saying, BJ, this is where these youngsters will be judged. In home conditions.
Through cover. Got enough bat on it, and it will get into the fence, and a well-needed boundary. Into the over. 117 for 9. Yeah! There it is. Just a nice little tickle. A second catch for Stephen Smith. Second wicket for Stephen O'Keefe. And that wraps it up. Sri Lanka in the second session of play, only in day 1, all out 117. De Silva, the top scorer, 24 from 38 deliveries, and Pereira, a healthy partnership in there. He's 20 from 15. And Sandakan on debut, the left-arm leg spinner, 19 from 15. 34.2 overs bowled. The pick of the bowlers for Australia. Josh Hazlewood, 3 for 21 from 10. And Nathan Lyon after lunch, what about that? 3 for 12 from 3 overs. Some good support from O'Keefe, picked up a couple of wickets, and also Mitchell Stark with 2 wickets. Sri Lanka all out 117.
Two men on either side of the bat, and a slip for Ranganaharath.
Yeah, they had some testy moments too, didn't they? Khawaja nicked one past first slip, and they'd missed a couple of times, and Herath was the tormentor. So I think it's a good move to get Herath on straight away. Second over of the morning.
Of course, it's a fresh day, so the batsmen will also like to play themselves in. Nicely tucked away. Rather than lunging at it, letting it come to him, playing it off the back foot.
Something Sri Lanka have done, going back in time, this what I'd call an in-out field, where you have men round the bat looking for the mistime shot, the bat pad chances, and then a deep set field to protect the boundaries. But to do it first up, I'm not sure whether it's the right tactic, giving away easy singles.
He's gone. First ball for Steve Smith from Herath. Using your feet is the key, but Stephen Smith lost the plot. That's a big wicket.
Well, this is a brain explosion from Stephen Smith. He has been using his feet very well, but most of the time he's been very structured in the way he's played. But that's just a wild hack at the ball. That's a number 11 slog from a world-class player like Stephen Smith, and that's a big wicket for Sri Lanka. Stephen Smith is on his way. He's made 30. The score now 3 for 69.
Adam Voges in the second over of the morning. Not what he would have thought. That's a very unusual dismissal though. Look at that average, 95.5, 450s, 500s. A lot of experience behind this man. Quality player.
He's a real late bloomer, Adam Voges, and he's taken to Test cricket quite incredibly. I mean, those numbers are just freakish, averaging 95. But under pressure, first up on day 2 in this Test match.
Hit him low.
It's not out.
Hitting very low indeed. Matthews, Herath pretty keen. We've heard the 10-second call from umpire Richard Kettleborough. Matthews wants to have a look at that. Lanka have already lost a review. Lost it against Usman Khawaja last evening. This is a big one.
Yes, the check in the front foot, that's fine. Just my gut feel watching it live was it was just sliding down the leg side. Did it straighten enough?
I think you're right. Since he's been given not out, it's got to crash into the stumps to be overturned. If it's clipping, it's not gonna do it for Rangana Herath. It's easily missed that inside edge.
Yeah, no bat involved, and at least half the ball has to be hitting the leg stump. That's the current rule.
Here we go. Umpire's call. The war just survives. They've gone up again, given this time. He was on the back foot. Khawaja walks, has a look at Voges, but not too much of a conversation. He knows he was as dead as a duck.
Yeah, another great delivery from Herath. Just slightly quicker through the air, forcing Khawaja onto the back foot, and ball just nipping back quite nicely. And no concerns there from the umpires. That's going on to hit the stumps, and Khawaja's on his way. He's made 26. The score now 4 for 70. Game on.
Was it pad first?
Not out.
Umpire Kettleborough doesn't think so. That was much straighter, AB. A lot happening.
Yes, I think that's quite a good shout, but they've used the reviews, the Sri Lankan boys. Again, just sliding straight on.
In the gap. Was in the air for a moment. Marsh is off the mark.
4 runs, but not as convincing as you'd like. But good to get off that 0. Foolish delivery, but uppishly and just past the gully man. Another good delivery from Pradeep. Just moving away from the right-hander slightly. uppishly through. So Marsh is away.
Brendan Julian alongside me in the commentary position. Good morning to you, Brendan. And yeah, what a start for Sri Lanka.
Good morning, Brian, and to all of our viewers. Well, good start. That was more run out than stump for Stephen Smith. And then that one there, you've got to go forward to Herath. You just cannot afford to go back. He's not tall enough. He doesn't get the bounce. You've got to make sure you're pushing forward. And I think Khawaja just realised that, but too late. But he's the go-to man, Herath, isn't he? But I like Pradeep. I think he's doing a really good job out there today. And that's what I want to see him do. I'd rather see him build up and bowl more in that area, because I felt yesterday that Pradeep bowling from this end, where Mitch Marsh is, and also Adam Voges, the batting pop increase. There's a little bit there. I reckon there's just a little bit in their pitch, maybe just going through the top a little bit now and again. Even Hazelwood said that at his interview. He said that he found it quite tacky. So I don't want to see Pradeep trying to bounce out Voges and Marsh. I just don't think that's not the plan for Sri Lanka today. It's more about building pressure at one end and allowing Herath to take wickets at the other.
A little bit back of a length and steered with an open face into the gap between second slip and gully. Another boundary.
Well, he does that for fun, Adam Voges. I've seen him throughout his first-class career in Western Australia and also in Australia just play that shot so often. It's so easy. It's a bit of a county cricket English shot where you just open the face. The length's not right for Pradeep. He's just trying to sort of hit the deck hard and just needs to get a little bit fuller.
Has that got something to do with the fact that more and more venues now are using drop-in surfaces?
Well, it shouldn't be, should it? I mean, often the drop-in pitches are flatter, but they seem to hold together a lot more. I just think that we're not producing those type of pitches.
Oh, that's a cracker. 100 comes up with Mitch Marsh, happy to play the sweep, and he's really caught hold of that in front of square. That's a top counter from the all-rounder.
Likes to score, Mitch Marsh. He doesn't like to be tied down. He doesn't like to be dictated to as well. I don't necessarily think Herath will be too bothered by that.
Oh, very well bowled. Now they're asking for the catch. I think it went past the outside edge. Certainly spun. That was the wrong one. He was playing for the turn. He was playing for the Chinaman, or he was playing for the normal delivery. That went the other way. That was definitely the wrong one. Went past the outside edge. Very, very lucky. Oh, good take by Matthews at slip. So you're telling us, in other words, that you've got everything sorted out, that you've got a plan for it, and as I asked you before, the financial health is looking good for Sri Lanka, and they shouldn't really be worrying too much about the finances going forward?
As long as they stick to their budgets and cash flows, which they themselves have prepared, so there should not be any problem.
As the chairman of the advisory committee, the financial advisory committee that is, so is your responsibility also to make sure that the budgets are being maintained?
Yes, that's precisely our this thing. We meet once a month and we check the actuals against the forecast and make sure that it has not gone over at any point.
Well, he's done it. He's got his first wicket. And Lakshan Sandakan has broken through. That's a big wicket. Mitch Marsh is the batsman. He's been castled by this young left-arm spinner. Sri Lanka has been searching for a wicket here. They wanted a breakthrough. And Mitch Marsh, well, they're checking for the front foot, but that's all right. He's having a bit behind the line. Completely went the other way. Was playing for the inward turn. It went the other way. That's the wrong one. And brilliantly done by Lakshan Sandakan. It's 130 for 5. Mitch Marsh goes for 31. Oh, he played across. Went off the leading edge. He was playing for the other one, but it was the wrong one again.
And it's actually only through the last couple of overs that Sandakan is showing us what he can do. Now relaxing and settling into a line and length, and he's able to get that ball to land. Lots of full tosses early on in his spell.
What confidence can do for you, a wicket can do for you. That's a poor delivery, but punched off the back foot. That will go away for 4. Well, you have to leave some allowance for such deliveries. It's 135 for 5.
Over the top. No, he doesn't. Straight to mid-on. Trying to hit the top of mid-on. Unable to get underneath. It finds Kusal Perera at mid-on. 6th wicket down for Australia.
Well, Ranganaherath was building the pressure. He was doing the right thing. He was bowling dot balls. He was frustrating Neville, who looked a busy player, wanted to get on with it, searching for runs, and this was the end result. Looking to go over the top, never really in control. And a fairly simple chance to the man at mid-on. So Sri Lanka breaks through again. Another important wicket. The veteran strikes. Neville goes for 2. It's 137 for 6.
Yeah, I think that was just tactically poor from Peter Neville. He'd only been out there a short while. He's a very good batsman in his own rights, but paid a poor shot out of Voges. Left now to really try and do something with the tail, trying to build up this lead into the 50 to 100 type range.
Oh, gee, I think you've got to bring someone in on the offside, surely. Deep man at deep point, you've got to make sure you keep O'Keefe on strike. Mind you, there's only 1 ball left in the over. If he hits, he could be close. Oh, I reckon he was out. Well, very, very close to it as well. In the end, O'Keefe survives. End of the over, 139 for 6.
Sandakan, this is his 9th over of the day. 1 for 22 today. Just bowled a couple of overs last night. Oh, goodness me. Friendly full toss. You'll get deliveries like that from a wrist spinner, but Stephen O'Keefe good enough to take advantage, and that brings up the Australia 150.
Well, the Australians will like that. They'll try and break the pressure here. Been pegged down before lunch, but O'Keefe getting a fairly friendly full toss. A real loosener from Sandakan. As you said, Brian, you need to have some allowance for such deliveries.
But that's a beautiful piece of bowling, and for the 2nd time in successive overs, he's been beaten by that wrong 'un.
That's the one I've been talking about. That's exactly the problem of the Australian batsmen. They just can't read him.
Yes, I think it's carried. Voges looks suspiciously back at the pitch, but Nuwan Pradeep has deserved that. They've had that man in the floating slip position, and that position comes to fruition.
Good catch by Kusal Mendis. He's a short man at 2nd slip, and a very, very good catch indeed. It was low to him, but held on to it. And Nuwan Pradeep's persistence has paid off. Checking the front foot, that's all right. That's a legal delivery, he's fine. There's no question of that being a no ball. And Sri Lanka has got the prize scalp. The scalp of Voges. It's pushing at a ball. And with hard hands, and the ball just going to rather low to 2nd slip, or the wide slip. Australia 160 for 7. Voges out for 47.
Yeah, there's a man out at deep cover as well. I'm just wondering with the new batsman whether you might think about having someone in at silly point under Mitchell Stark's nose. Let's make him feel as uncomfortable as possible. Big shout for LBW. Remember, Sri Lanka have used up their reviews.
Quite a long stride from Stark. He's a tall man. So he's looking to get forward. So to a very great extent, he can negate that LBW by getting forward, getting that right foot out. Just looking to get right forward, just getting that long stride out. That's the one he would have been trying or thinking about. It's come off well. It's gone a long way. Now Stark will try to play a few shots like that. The lead is up to 50.
Yes, he's a lovely clean striker of the ball, Mitchell Stark. Sri Lanka all too aware of that with the deep backward square leg and the deep mid-wicket in position. That was over long on. And mid-on, in fact, has gone back to long on now.
Grew up not too far from here, and even this very ground, this project was initiated by Muralidharan. Halfway through was when Sri Lanka cricket took over and made sure that the job was finished and international cricket could be played out here.
Big edge, and he gets his reward. Sanakan picks up his second wicket. And Mitchell Stark just getting a little bit on it. It's good patience and good bowling. He gave it a lot of flight and enticed the drive from Stark.
And the skipper's trust, persistence works. Beautifully bowled. Just held it back a wee bit. And that was enough for it to dip on Stark and pick that edge. Stark's on his way. He's made 11. Australia 179 for 8.
That's a good shot. They should get 2 here. Gonna have to hurry. Gonna have to hurry. Nathan Lyon, gee, turned slowly. I wasn't thinking that he was going to come back in the end, but it was a comfortable 2.
And Heratu, not the quickest movers in the outfield. I'm pretty sure Stephen O'Keefe knew that, and that's why he pushed for 2.
Very slow, Nathan Lyon. Has he taken it? He has. What a catch. I wasn't sure there for a second, but Stephen O'Keefe walks off, and some good fielding from Sri Lanka.
Kusal Mendis it was. Just kept his eyes on it. There was no pad in it. In fact, I think O'Keefe was in control. He just wanted to work it off his hip so he can keep strike. But unfortunately, Mendis kept his eyes on it and followed it right in. 3rd wicket for Sandakan. Big one with the lead on 73. Australia lose their 9th. But a battling knock from O'Keefe comes to an end. He made 23. It's 190 for 9.
Oh, a little nick on that. You would have seen before that delivery that Dinesh Chandimal is back on the ground, feeling a bit better after his stomach upset. Kushal Perera has taken over behind the stumps, and was there a little feather on that?
I think from the reaction from the bowler, I think yes, and definitely thickish edge.
Nathan Lyon brings up the 200 with a boundary. Fans enjoy it. Yet another sweep shot. But, well, he's got a simple game plan, and he sticks to it.
Well, that was the subtle variation, wasn't it? That was the slog sweep rather than the conventional sweep. Caught it quite towards the end, bottom toe end of the bat, but still raced away.
This partnership now worth 13. Every run vital. Big shout for LBW. And Richard Kettleborough says yes. He had a long think about that, but they have got to review the Australians, and Nathan Lyon is going to use it.
Might as well. They'll get their reviews back as well. So yet another sweep shot from Nathan Lyon. Check out all the scenarios. No problems with the front foot.
Chris Gaffney, the New Zealander. He's the third umpire. Doesn't look as though there's any bat involved there. It's turned a little bit. Is it turning too much, I wonder?
You can see leg stump. Is it going on to hit the off stump? And has it pitched outside the line or hit him outside the line? That would be the question marks once we see the... I don't think there's been any bat involved. So looking at that, looks like well, it's just pitched in. It's hitting in line. I've got no problems with that. And going on to hit the off stump, so no problems. A good decision.
Yeah, he had a long think about that, Richard Kettleborough. And confirmation that his decision was the correct one. So Sandakan finishes with 4 for 58, Herath 4 for 49, and that's good bowling from the two spinners.
So some good bowling from Sri Lanka. Quick look at the Australian batting card. Just inside 80 overs, all out for 203. The top scorer there, Adam Voges, 47 from 115 deliveries. The pick of the batsman. Also some good batting from Mitch Marsh, 31 from 63. And Stephen O'Keefe continues his very good form with the bat, making 23. As we have a look at the bowling figures for Sri Lanka, Rananga Herath, 4 for 49 from 25 overs. But what about Sandakan on debut? 21.2 overs, the left-arm leg spinner, taking 4 for 58.
Players are all out in the middle. Dimuth Karunaratne will take first strike, and Mitchell Starc will come in. No, he won't, because just as he was about to bowl, somebody decided to walk behind the bowler's arm in front of the sight screen. In fact, it's Kushal Perera, in fact, who's made his way out to the middle to open the innings. Batted 7 in the first innings, of course. And Kaushal Silva, the right-hander at the non-striker's end. We've seen Kushal Perera open in one-day international cricket. Pushed up the order now, and it's an interesting one because he plays very, very positive fashion, and it might just be an attempt by Sri Lanka just to wrest the initiative from these Australian bowlers. Oh, full in length, and he's gone. S. Ravi gets the finger up. And I rather fancy that Starc just beat Kushal Perera for pace there. He's walking off without the need for a review. He knows he's gone. And Australia get the early breakthrough that they wanted.
His only hope was if there was some bat involved. It was a very full delivery, just swung slightly. And I would suggest that's pitching on and going to hit that leg stump. And a big breakthrough for Mitchell Starc. He's happy, as are the rest of the Australians. As a bit of bad weather balls in, he's gone for 4. The score now 1 for 6.
Man who opened in the first innings, Dimuth Karunaratne, coming in at number 3 now. So the tactic of pushing Kushal Perera up to open hasn't worked. But Karunaratne isn't going to get the opportunity to face up, because no sooner had he got out to the middle than the rain, which we could see coming for quite some distance, has decided to make an appearance. An early tea will be taken. What frustration for Sri Lanka, losing a wicket just before this interruption.
So that wraps up day 2 action here at Pallekele Stadium. Sri Lanka 6 for 1. Perera out for 4. Some good bowling from Mitchell Starc for LBW, caught in front. And the 2 not out Sri Lankan batsmen. And the rain coming in halted the day's play. Starc 1 for 3, and Hazelwood, just the one over, went for 3 runs as well. That completes The day 2 highlights. Sri Lanka 6 for 1. Stark picking up the wicket. Pereira out for 4. And Silva the not out batsman as well. But Sri Lanka are still 80 runs behind. That's it from us, Pallekele Stadium. Hope you enjoyed the highlights after day 2.
Good morning and welcome to the Pallekele International Cricket Stadium. Getting ready for day 3 of this opening test of 3 in this Sri Lanka-Australia series. Australia in the box seat. Not absolutely clear though, you could say, because being bowled out for 203 yesterday, it's given them a good lead of 86 on first innings. And of course, just before the rain came last night, they got rid of the important wicket of Kushal Pereira. They still lead by 80, but the door is ajar for Sri Lanka here if they can bat well. It's a big if. Good morning to Alan Border.
Good morning, Brian. Good morning, everyone. Yes, again, these first sessions are always set up the day nicely. And as you said, Brian, the Sri Lankans are not out of the game by any stretch of the imagination. They bat half decently, make a 200 plus sort of total. Well, it just keeps them in the frame. I don't think Australia would be fancying chasing anything over 150 will be a challenge. So that's something for the Sri Lankans to play for. That yes, let's whittle away at this deficit, and then see if we can get into the positive figures. And later on today, who knows? It's going to be a very interesting game if they can do that. But there's a lot of hard work to be done between now and then.
It certainly is, and the hard work starts against this man, Mitchell Starc, getting that breakthrough just before the rain came. Sickener, really, for Sri Lanka. Dimuth Karunaratne actually came out to the middle, walked all the way down the steps, and was about to take guard, and then it started to rain. So that really was a blow as far as the home side were concerned. The other end, Kaushal Silva. So we've still got the left and right hand combination. It's an interesting move last night, actually, to push the middle order player Kushal Pereira up to open, wasn't it, Alan? What was the thinking there, do you think?
Well, he's a very aggressive player and a good player, has opened the batting, particularly in one-day cricket. And he's one of those guys that just plays his shots in the South Jayasuriya frame, and probably looking at saying, okay, look, let's take the attack to the Australian new ball bowling, and we might get 50, 60 really quick runs, reduce that deficit quickly, and all of a sudden, we're putting a lot of pressure back on the Aussies. It wasn't to be.
4 balls left in this over, and straight away Starc goes past the outside edge. That's nice, and he's happy with that. Good start. Dimuth Karunaratne on the recent tour of England, 0-7 in Leeds, 9-26 in Durham, and he showed a touch of form at Lords, the back end of the series, 50 and 37 not out in that rain-ruined final test match. Demoted in this innings though, coming in at number 3, having opened in the first innings.
Getting some nice shape there, Mitchell Starc. That's always a good sign for him that his wrist release is good. Good rhythm. The pace is up there at 145 clicks, so that's always a handful. With the new ball in his hand, swing it at good pace. A big tall man as well, so yeah, there's a fair bit to contend with as a batsman.
There's Karunaratne's record in that recent test series against England, including that best score, 50 in the first innings at Lords. Oh, that's got to be worth a shout. Yes, it's more than worth a shout. Up goes S. Ravi's finger. Second time in the match, LBW to Mitchell Starc, or is he? Because he's decided to go upstairs, but a little bit of swing. Again, perhaps looking to play too square on the onside, toppling over, and that looked pretty adjacent to me.
Is identical to the first innings. There's no problem with the front foot for Mitchell Starc, so it'll be all whether there is any bat involved. Ball pitching on the middle stump. And height may be an issue, but I get the feeling that's going to go on and hit at least the bails, if not the upper part of the stumps. I don't think there's any bat involved.
And here we go with Hawkeye, the ball tracking.
Not out. Out or not out?
Out.
Out. Yeah.
So success for Mitchell Starc, misery for Dimuth Karunaratne, and the dream start for Australia.
Yes, the second wicket goes down. Ratney, almost identical to the first innings dismissal. It was a good delivery. It started to tail away from the left-hander and straightened off the seam, and a delighted Mitchell Starc gets the first wicket of the morning. Ratney is on his way. He hasn't troubled the score. 2 for 6 is the score.
Edged and full. Beautifully bowled. Now the third slip had just come out. Don't think it would have carried, but it certainly would have been stopped by that third slip had he still been in position.
Yes, I don't think it went in the air. It seemed to go straight to ground. Yeah, it would not have been a catch to the third slip.
And this is on 34. You don't feel him get his runs. Very positive player.
Ball, mate. Steve-O.
It's interesting, isn't it, Russell, that once again Stephen Smith's gone for O'Keefe first as Nathan Lyon, who's close to 200 Test wickets. That's close. That's really close and given. Big wicket for Australia. It just went on with the arm, and Stephen O'Keefe makes the breakthrough this morning.
Brilliant bowling. Quicker, fired in at Kaushal Silva. Deceived him with pace. Well, he's gone upstairs. Sri Lanka have already lost the review. Dimuth Karunaratne used one up and he was dead.
I just think that's a bad review. I think the first one this morning was a bad review, and I think this is another bad one. And that's the benefit, you know, of batting in the top order. You get to use the reviews, but you've got to make sure that the batsman at the other end says, look, I think you're out. And when an umpire gives you out straight away, you know you're in big trouble.
Well away from the bat, so no doubt about it. It's crashed into the pad, but there's a big angle though. You can see from the moment it pitched, it's gone a long way across. So now Kaushal Silva, a short man, was hoping that it would be missing that leg stump. Umpire's call. It'll stay out and Sri Lanka lose both their reviews. They lost another wicket. Kaushal Silva was looking to hang in there, has to make that long walk back. Just the 7 runs and Sri Lanka are 45 for 3.
A little edge. Wouldn't have carried the slip. It went past Stephen Smith's left hand and down to the boundary for 4. But playing with soft hands and getting the benefit of that.
Split the gap perfectly. Went between the keeper and the slip, just to the right of the keeper. Yes, it didn't carry, you're right. But that's the type of luck Kusal Mendis needs. You need a bit of luck in an innings like this, Brian, because the odd ball.
Scoring rate for Sri Lanka in this innings is actually the quickest of any side in the match so far. They're scoring at just under 3.5 runs and over. Element of positivity that they're bringing to the crease at the moment, chiefly through Mendis, who's tracked on the back foot. Big shout for LBW. Not out, says umpire Ravi. Are they going to review it? Was it sliding? That was the question by Steve Smith to Stephen O'Keefe, and they decide in the end they're going to keep their powder dry on that one.
That hurried on to him, and also sliding down the leg side, possibly just missing the leg stump clipping. So even if they had reviewed, umpire's call.
There's Kushal Mendis's record by position, playing 4 innings in New Zealand. batting at number 3 against the West Indies on debut at Peace Sarah Stadium last October, and there's that innings at number 4 that he's in the midst of at the moment. Big shout for LBW. Always having a big long think about that, umpire S. Ravi. And they're thinking about a review. Steve Smith speaking with Steve O'Keefe and Peter Neville. What do you think? What do you reckon? And they're deciding to go upstairs.
Interesting, because Steve O'Keefe was very, very confident when he went up. Let's see. That's a fair delivery. Never heard spinners bowling too many no balls, so that should be all right. Where is it heading? That's the question. Was that an inside edge? Just missing the inside edge, or did it just shave the edge? The little things that the umpires will look at or look for. They want to be absolutely sure that there was the feather.
My suspicion is that it will be at best clipping leg stump, so in which case it would stay with the umpire's call. Let's see if Hawkeye backs us up on that one. Point of impact around leg stump, and yes, just clipping leg. So it's going to stay with the on-field decision. So Australia have lost a review, and I actually think that's fair enough, Roshan.
What is fair enough? Losing a review or the decision?
The decision by S. Ravi.
Yeah, that's fine, but I don't think losing a review is right, because it's a right review, because it was hitting the stumps, but still they get docked. So I'm sure the authorities, concerned, need to look at it.
All part of the debate about the decision review system. Spinners in tandem for Australia. Is Nathan Lyon round the wicket now? Is that out? Yes, it is. So the switch for Nathan Lyon to round the wicket works immediately. Angelo Matthews, the Sri Lankan captain, goes, and in effect Sri Lanka 0 for 4.
Big wicket, very, very big wicket, simply because Angelo Matthews is the most experienced and Sri Lanka's best batsman, and clear edge onto the pad and a fairly simple catch to the man at forward short leg. So the Australians obviously scalping the big one, the priced scalp. Angelo Matthews, the captain, goes for 9. Hasn't had a great game here. Sri Lanka 86 for 4. Going to 2 slips in a gully, and the man on the drive at extra cover. Oh, that can be very close. It could be very close. Oh, could be the line, could be the impact, or maybe an inside edge. That looked very good to me.
Look good live, but I think there's a bit of bat involved here. Unmoved Kettleborough, the umpire. Maybe even outside the line, but I see that in slower motion. There's probably a bit of inside edge involved as well.
Nicely played. That's a lovely shot. The timing. Great timing indeed. It's not all that short, and he didn't really go too deep in the crease, but just whipped it from around that off stump, and he gets to the 90s for the first time in his career. In his test career, I should say.
That's a serious shot, that. Just shot slightly back of a length. He's not a tall man.
Well played, very well played. That's a way of playing off spin, just sweeping it almost from his stumps. It was more of a pedal. Gets a boundary. The useful runs for Sri Lanka. That's for Chandimal. One thing about the pitch is it's not a crumbling pitch. It's a dry surface that's giving you turn. So it's not as dangerous as a crumbling pitch where the ball would bounce and behave in all sorts of ways. But this is a little bit more predictable, but not in any way suggesting that's easy to bat on. But this shot has been good, very useful. The sweep shot.
I think it's a very good shot to have in your armoury, the sweep shot, because when the ball starts turning, it's a good way to get yourself off strike and attack the bowling and put some pressure back on the bowler.
Oh, this is a slog. It's gone all the way. In fact, it's a good one. That's his 100. What a way to get to his 100. Tremendous shot indeed. He just put his foot down and swept it. The slog sweep. Youngest Sri Lankan batsman to score a Test 100 versus Australia at 21 years and 177 days. The previous, of course, was Romesh Kaluvitarna. That was when he was 22 plus, 22 years and 269 days. But what a brilliant effort by Chandimal. Most stats been handed over to me about this 100. Third fastest Test 100 for Sri Lanka. He's behind Jayasuriya Kaluvitarna in terms of balls. And this is another look where he reached that memorable landmark.
What a brave shot to bring up your 100, your first in Test cricket. Absolutely phenomenal. It's been a great performance from this young man. What a shot. We've been talking about the zones that Mendes has been playing in. That is the first shot down the ground, and I mean, he can play the straight drive. We've just found that out. That is a ripper.
In fact, a perfect shot in the zone, and you could see that Mendes now opening up with a lovely drive, as straight as it could get.
Very close to a no ball with his back foot there, but he's greeted with an absolutely tremendous straight drive, and it's gone for 4. Brendan Julian alongside me. Good afternoon, Brendan. This man, everything he touches turns to gold.
It does. He's batted well, Mendes, and it just goes to show once you get yourself in on this pitch, it can flatten out.
Oh, good shot. Little pickup over mid-wicket for 4. Almost disdain there from Mendes.
Where did that come from? Yes, scoring his first 100. His highest score before this one was 53, I think, and he's just whipped that through the leg side over the top.
Oh, is that out? Dropped. Dropped, trying to get across the pitch. Mitchell Starc. He was going in the opposite direction from his follow through. A leading edge from Chandimal and a reprieve.
It was an easy catch, easy for Mitch Starc. I just think it went too slow. He got across, he could have got 2 hands on it. And then he just went with 1. He got there so easily, he could have got 2 hands on it. And he's bitterly disappointed, Mitch Starc, because he knows that was there for the taking for him.
Oh, an uppercut now. Chandimal joining in the fun. He's been largely dormant in this partnership, which is now worth 92. But that was an extravagant shot, and a very good one too.
Frustration starting to creep in for Mitch Starc. Just releasing the pressure. That caught and bowled, missed the opportunity, and this is an easy one for Chandimal. Short, wide, no third man. Partnership now 92.
Glanced fine, that'll be 4.
Beautiful comeback. Not a word said. Just do the action. That's all you need.
And he's run all the way down to the non-striker's end just to tap his bat in as well.
Oh, Mitch Starc probably started the agitation, and in the end, both the Sri Lankan batsmen have prevailed at the moment.
Hits it well. Work to do in the deep. Hazelwood gives up. So the runs keep flowing for the Sri Lankans.
Such a good shot. Hitting with the spin. And placing it perfectly. There's 2 men behind square. One at 45, one in the deep. But it's threaded the needle perfectly.
Could have been run out, Dinesh Chandimal.
Yeah, just a couple of things starting to happen for Nathan Lyon. Missed sweep shot, and then Chandimal coming down the track. A bit of a false shot, so wants to be careful. He's done such a good job to date. Don't just throw the innings away. Australia desperate for the breakthrough.
Line bowling a lot slower. Got to be careful with your shot selection. Edge. Nothing from umpire Richard Kettleborough, so that's gone off the pad. Doesn't have any reviews. He's used them up, Steve Smith. 3 in a row. Something beginning to give. Chandimal trying to work that ball away.
Something's happening here, guys.
Yes, the last 3 deliveries, there's been a bit of incentive for the Australian bowlers. Nathan Lyon's starting to get the line and the bit of extra bounce and turn. I think there was a little inside edge there personally. You didn't see that?
Did turn in sharply. This time, finds the middle of the bat, gets off strike. Very eventful over. 203 for 4. Much straighter, yes. Given. No hesitation at all. It's Chandimal on his way back. Lyon created all the pressure. Marsh gets the rewards.
Quite extraordinary. The last 4 deliveries bowled. There's just a hint that the Australians were starting to get something happening, and all of a sudden Mitchell Marsh is struck. The ball, quite a big reverse swing and a little bit off the seam as well. And adjudged another LBW, and that's a big breakthrough by Mitchell Marsh. The end of Chandimal. It's gone for 42. The score now 5 for 203.
Oh, clipped. I'm at a loss for words. All I can say is it's 4 runs. Dhananjay De Silva will take that.
Well, it's an incredibly brave shot. He gets off the mark in the first innings with a 6. Sri Lanka under pressure, and he gets off the mark with a lofted on drive off a late in swinger. He's a brave batsman, that's for sure.
Oh, Steve Smith read that early. He was on the move. Well, at one time, there was a restriction in the fielder moving early, but they've gone back to allowing the fielder to do that.
Yes, he's read that shot well, Steve Smith. He's gone too far. See him on the move there. I don't think he's actually got any bat or glove on that. Looks like it might have come off his shoulder.
Edge all along the ground. 4 more.
I think that's an educated edge. I think he meant to do that. I don't think that was a false shot. I think he opened the blade and just let the ball come on and slid the ball to the vacant 3rd man area.
There was a difference in that split screen we showed. One was a right arm bowler, one was a left arm bowler, but the angle into the batsman was the same. We're seeing even Chandimal, Angelo Matthews, they're all playing over the pad because they're starting on off stump.
Well, those are the highest scores for Sri Lanka against Australia. And Hobart, Brisbane, Hobart, Melbourne. Hobart was a very flat track, always has been, and doesn't crumble. It's a good batting service. And Melbourne, the Boxing Day Test match as well. It's always been a really good pitch to bat on in the 1st and 2nd innings.
Interestingly, all those high scores, the first 4 scores have been made in Australia. And I remember that knock Dilshan made at Hobart. In that series, that was the first test match of the series. And that was the series where Kumar Sangakkara really fractured his hand, I think, batting against Mitchell Johnson in Melbourne. He was really bending his back with Johnson and was going quick.
I remember that 95, 143 Guru Singha. Oh, was that dropped? Could it have been the 2nd drop catch caught and bowled opportunity for Australia? It was firmly struck by Mendes. It was in the middle of the bat. That one a lot harder than Mitchell Stark's one.
Not easy. It's never easy following through and suddenly having to adjust and having to bend down. It was rather low as well. Heselwood is a tall man, so had to get down quickly. Needed a quick reaction.
The lead, 147, 2:33 for 5. That's a good shot. I like that shot. It's down the wicket to the pitch. No one to beat. Mid-off. Doesn't get close to it. Very nice shot, that.
The lead now past 150. An important milestone for Sri Lanka. Dhananjay De Silva getting to the pitch of the ball. Making sure that he covered the spin and also maneuvered it well. Just didn't try to hit it too hard. Just use the top hand.
Hazelwood. Close. It nipped back nicely. To no avail. Sundaram Ravi not interested.
He took a good look. Umpire Ravi. And don't forget, Australia has no reviews. Well, the Australians were pleading. Heselwood was pleading. Let's see. It was an inside edge, no question.
Too easy. Too easy. That short and outside the off stump. And Mendes now goes past 150.
What an innings it has been. Earns a standing ovation from his teammates and from the crowd here. They got something to cheer about. Amazing turnaround, amazing transformation. Kusal Mendes, just 21 years and a bit, has been the leading star for Sri Lanka. He's got the bulk, 152 out of 247. And still going, still counting.
And he's got to keep going as well. You don't give away opportunities like this. Oh, he's 152 not out. And the lead for Sri Lanka is only 161. That's what he's got to be thinking. That's what will keep him going.
Come on, guys.
Just one man on the offside round point and one at mid-off. That's all he had to beat. Quick one and through the offside. Hasn't been a good over. He hasn't bowled to his field and he knows it, Nathan Lyon, as well. 10 off the over, 253 for 5.
Oh, what a terrific shot that was. You couldn't really call it a pull shot. It was almost just helped round the corner with almost a straight bat. Beautiful timing again, and that's gone like a rocket.
That is some shot. It's nonchalantly sort of flicked to the onside. Just, oh, it's a fraction short, so I'll just flick it round the onside, and it's gone like a tracer bullet. 2 men in the deep. It's gone right in the middle. 4 more runs.
Now, Stephen O'Keefe has been a big loss for Australia.
He could have bowled with the new ball if required. They got the wicket. Nathan Lyon strikes just before the new ball, and that's exactly what Sri Lanka didn't want.
Well, it's just a soft dismissal. And De Silva just chipping it to mid-off. And talking of milestones, it's a big one for Nathan Lyon. 200 test wickets, the only Australian off-spinner to do it.
Inviting that drive. The extra cover also had just come into play. So that would mean Lyon was going to bowl up way outside off stump. Dhananjay De Silva obliges. He's gone for 36. 174 for 6. Could have cleaned him up. No extra cover. There was a big gap, but still perfect bowling from Lyon. But Sri Lanka pick up 4. It's 280 for 6. Outside the line. Did it come back in? He's not offering a shot, so he can be given out even if he was hit outside the line of off stump.
Oh, I think it was missing off stump. I think it probably pitched about off and spinning away, and he's shaking his head. I think it was missing off stump. No doubt it was worth a shout. Look at that, it's pitching off stump and missing off stump.
It's turned.
I don't know why Stephen Smith's shaking his head. He looked like he was disappointed with that, but when he sees the replay, I think he'll be right.
They're off. We thought they'll consider having to play on, but Steve Smith probably wants to take that new ball, get his faster bowlers in, and hence the umpires have said, well, we think the light's not good enough.
Well, it's not the umpire's fault. I mean, I think the umpires can only umpire to the conditions, but I don't understand why you can't use lights. I mean, I think the playing conditions are completely wrong. You've got lights at a ground, you've lost time because of rain, and all of a sudden you can't get out there and play because of light. That's an issue.
It's going to be Lakshan Sandakan, the left arm wrist spinner, who's going to open up proceedings from the pavilion end. That 1 wicket yesterday, removing Joe Burns with a very sharply spinning ball back into the right-hander. No wonder he's got a grin on his face. He's got 5 wickets on Test match debut. His partnership worth 20 so far. Boges on 9, Smith on 26 at the non-striker's end. Got a slip, a leg slip and a forward short leg. And here we go on day 5. And it's good morning to Alan Border.
Good morning, Brian. Good morning, everyone. Yes, it's got a good feel about this game. Bit of a delayed start, which is a bit unfortunate, taking more time out of the game. I think Australia probably need at least 50, 60 overs to get to this total. So fingers crossed that we don't get any more bad weather. But it's very hot and steamy out in the middle. Boges and Smith, two very experienced and good campaigners. So from Australia's point of view, they'll need these two to put on some sort of partnership, and then they can assess where they're at as far as this run chase is concerned.
Sharp spin back into the right-hander. That'll encourage the Sri Lankans. A nod of the head from Steve Smith.
An extravagant turn there. That's a long way outside off stump. Would have hit the stumps.
Not dissimilar delivery to the one that dismissed Joe Burns yesterday.
Yeah, it's just a fraction shorter, wasn't it? The one to Joe Burns was really spun quickly. That one was just a little bit shorter and a slower spin off the surface.
Even S. Ravi was impressed with that one. Well, this is a good testing start from Sandakan. Those spinning fingers warmed up already.
Outstanding. 3 cracking deliveries to start the day.
He fancies this, doesn't he? Oh, well bowled.
That is well bowled. I just wasn't sure, and that's the goog. So Australians haven't seen this young lad, so that learning all the time, but if you can't read it, it makes it very difficult.
Just a single off the over. Australia 89 for 3. Australia beginning the day at 83 for 3. Oh, and that was in the air and not a million miles away from Kaushal Silva at Silly Point.
Yes, that's the dismissal they're waiting for, the bat pad opportunity.
Nicely worked by Steve Smith. Going towards long leg. They've run 2. They'll look for a 3rd and come back for it quite comfortably in the end. Dilruan Pereira, deep backward square leg. But well, first moment of real alarm for Australia from the previous delivery.
Yeah, Stephen Smith using his feet, not to the pitch of the ball, and then pad bat. And in those circumstances, they tend to really fly quickly. And he got himself past the bat pad. But good reaction from him in there. But yeah, Survived, just a little half chance there.
Seen some back pad fielders in the past, Alan, actually follow the batsman up the pitch.
Yep, I think that's the right technique, because generally the ball flies out like it did with Stephen Smith's delivery there. You've got to follow the batsman down the track.
Oh, goodness me, that was too full to sweep.
I don't know whether he needs to play that sort of shot, but expansive. Actually, it did turn and bounce, didn't it?
Not out, says umpire Richard Kettleborough at the end of the over, just the 3 runs from it, 92 for 3. Is there an element of block or bash about the Australian approach?
Well, it's the circumstances you find yourself in, with a block or bash, but you know, you can be positive in defence as well. It's just a mindset thing, but.
It's a nice shot from Steve Smith, waiting for the ball to turn, forcing it out to deep extra cover, and it's gone all the way for 4. The first boundary of the morning. Well played, Steve Smith. Australia up to 96 for 3. Steve Smith up to 36 with the first boundary of the morning. The first boundary that we've had in this innings in 8 overs.
Yes, just dragged down Stephen Smith, getting back in his crease well, giving himself a bit of room. There's only a couple of men on the offside. So good shot. Bit more sluggish in the outfield today. Rathers continues to tease.
Presumably from a Sri Lanka perspective, you know, they're asking for a catch here, actually. Did he hit that into the ground? Or was it a low full toss that he's got back to Rangana Herath? Nobody's quite sure. And in fact, the umpires are going to have a chat. I reckon we're going to go upstairs here.
Well, I didn't even consider it as being a potential catch. Sometimes you can tell the ball sometimes floats back to the bowler, and the bat's hit the ground before the ball, and it's gone back to the bowler as a catch. But it just doesn't have that feel to me, Brian, but we'll soon find out.
Adam Voges using his feet. Did he get it on the half volley, or did he get it on the full toss off the bottom of the bat, straight back to the bowler? No problem there with the front foot. It's a legal delivery.
He's using his feet to get down to the pitch of the ball. Well, I tell you what, that looks out. That is amazing. Pitches before he hits the bat. Goodness gracious, that is a good referral.
Well, well, well. Get ready for this. Chris Gaffney, the third umpire, what does he say? Out. Well, there was barely an appeal out there from the Sri Lankans. Adam Voges frustrated. When he sees the replay, he'll know all too clearly that he's out. And Australia have lost their first wicket of the day in bizarre fashion.
Certainly have. Just the reaction from most people was that he just hit the ball into the ground from a full toss, and then all of a sudden the Sri Lankans start to query, well, hang on. Sometimes out in the field you can get that sense that the ball's just floated back, but Adam Voges has to go. He's made 12, the score now 4 for 96.
Mitch Marsh, he was dismissed by Sandakan in the first innings and almost dismissed by him again there.
It's going to be a very interesting contest, this, because Mitchell Marsh, I don't know whether he's reading that. It doesn't appear so. That's the first delivery face. Ball went straight on.
He's just trying to get his pad out there, outside the line of off stump. It's a tough start, this. There's no silly point at the moment. I think I'd be tempted to put one in at this stage just to put a bit of extra pressure on the batsman.
Well, they're listening to you, Brian, because as you speak, the bat pad on the offside comes in.
So just Stephen Smith here, 49, but he's taking his stance probably more on off stump, closer to off stump. He likes to work the ball to the leg side. Just want to make sure the ball's turning a lot from outside off stump. It's very hard to get out LBW if you're padding it away because the ball's turning so much.
Plays with the spin. That's 50. Steve Smith continues his merry way, and what consistency. That's a 6th score of 50 or more in the last 7 test innings. The failure in the first innings, of course. Gone on to score 200s and 450s in that bit. Needs to make it 300s and Australia will be smiling.
Yeah, quality batsman. And the linchpin for the Australian batting lineup. Has been for such a long time, but it's been a short career. It's the unbelievable thing. And since he's been captain of Australia, his records improved even a lot more than that as well. So wonderful, wonderful player, Stephen Smith. And an opportunity for Mitch Marsh too in this innings. Only averaging 25 in Test cricket. He's a lot better than that, but these type of innings are things that may change careers. 134 for 4.
Steve Smith scoring the first half century for Australia in this Test match, and they're halfway towards their target. 134 runs scored, 134 more runs to get. Rangana Herath back into the attack now from the pavilion end. Bowled just 5 overs today. Alongside me, Roshan Abasinghe. Good morning, Roshan.
Good morning, Brian. Yeah, good fight back by Australia here. That's Steve Smith getting to his half century, the first for the Australians. Oh, off a leading edge. That ball falling short of cover. Sometimes it's a little bit baffling as to why Angelo Matthews decided to take Rangana Herath off. I'm also surprised to see Dhananjay Silva bowling his off spin, because, well, at best, we might have 2 sessions of cricket, but obviously this pitch is more suited for spin bowling, being a dry track. But as I said in the morning, it's not impossible for Australia if they apply themselves. It's not a crumbling pitch. Nice.
Big shout for LBW. Herath is interested. Not out, says umpire Ravi, and Angelo Matthews very quickly says we'll go upstairs.
Was there an inside edge, or was it doing a little bit too much? It drifted in, that's for sure. And was it straightening down the line? Let's see. But good call. Very good shout indeed.
I've seen Herath get so many wickets like this over the years, sliding onto the right-hander. It's a legal delivery, no problems there. Now, what's the point of impact? Oh, it's in line with the stumps. It's pad first as well. Do you know, I think this looks very adjacent.
Looks a good shout. Looks a very good shout. Well, he just trying to make sure, just rule out the fact that he didn't touch the bat. I think pad first. Pad first. Pad first. Now this will tell us. Oh, that's in line. Yes. Hitting the middle, so no question. Excellent review. Excellent review. Well, good work. Very good work. Rangana Herath. The importance of experience, importance of having quality bowlers operating, tells you the story. And this is why Sri Lanka should try and use Rangana Herath a little bit more in situations like this.
So frustrating for Australia, that pairing. They'd added 43 and they'd done it reasonably comfortably, but most of those runs had been added with Herath not in the attack. Back he comes, and Mitch Marsh on his way back to the pavilion. Dismissed For 25, it's 139 for 5.
Oh, brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. They're asking the question. And Steve Smith has reviewed it. Well, the Sri Lankan fielders are very confident. But Smith doesn't think he touched it. Wonderful delivery to start up.
Yes, he went straight away upstairs, Steve Smith. Yeah, I don't think he believes he hit it. Richard Kettleborough was the man who gave the decision. It's a legal delivery, no problems there. Yeah, it looks as though he's missed it by quite some distance there. It's bat on ground, I think. We'll get a better idea from this replay.
Very difficult. It's very difficult. I think it appears that he's missed it.
There, you can see the bat going into the ground, and that may have been the noise that interested not only the fielders behind the wicket there, but also umpire Richard Kettleborough. When the ball goes past the bat, that's what we're seeing here on the split screen. There's certainly some daylight. Chris Gaffney from New Zealand, former first-class cricketer there, is the man who's going through these replays. We'll feel perhaps there's a little bit of a gap there between the ball and the bat. That's what I'm hearing in my ears from Chris Gaffney, and Richard Kettleborough changing his decision. So Steve Smith survives.
A good decision, I think, because there wasn't really enough evidence to suggest that he touched the bat. There was definite daylight between bat and ball. But that was a brilliant delivery to start off, completely baffled him. Played for the one that comes in, but that was the wrong one, and he was completely done.
We've got, what, just under 10 minutes to go before lunch.
Good session for Sri Lanka, but in view of those 2 wickets they got, and the Australians been able to go in with just a wicket down. Oh, that's close. That is close.
Fingers gone up. Umpire Ravi says that's out. They're going to think about a review, but once again, it's that slider from Herath. They are going to go upstairs, and you can understand it. These are the last 2 recognised batsmen.
Well, he knows that his number is up. That looked out. Unless he thinks that he hit it. Rangan Herath hasn't been getting a lot of bounce, so the height should be all right. He was hit in line, and the other thing is he was given out. So it has to be something really. Oh yeah, I think it hit the pad first. Definitely hit the pad first.
Steve Smith is 3/4 of the way to the pavilion already. And that's why. What a hammer blow just before the lunch interval that Sri Lanka have struck. Umpire Ravi gets the decision right. Steve Smith goes out for 55, and Australia really, well, absolutely on their knees now. 140 for 6. 3 wickets to go down today, all to Rangan Herath. Australia desperate to try and just stop the bleeding now. 3 wickets before lunch already, and 5 minutes to go before the interval.
Interesting to see what Mitchell Starks, that's another look at the dismissal of Steve Smith, Rangan Herath. How many times they've done it for Sri Lanka? How many times? And that's why, Brian, I mean, it's important that you go with your best bowlers, your tried and tested ones, rather than, you know, the newcomers, particularly in situations like this. But the point I was trying to make is the approach of Stark. What would he try to do? Because he generally likes to hit the ball. He likes to use the long handle. I'm not very sure how good or sound he is with defense against spin. Good time to find out.
Long on and deep backward square in position. Out! Caught and bowled. Sandakan strikes. Stark goes for a duck. And Australia are in tatters.
Well, it's all happening. Sri Lanka slicing through the Aussie batting. And what a time to get a wicket. Stroke of lunch. The Sri Lankans will have a great appetite going into lunch. Stark just on the back foot. A simple catch. Soft dismissal, if that's the right way to describe it. Young Sandakan absolutely delighted. Australia on their knees at lunch. Stark goes for naught.
On the back foot, was it turning too much? Kettleborough gives him. He's got one review up his sleeve. But what might not work in the favour of Nathan Lyon is that he was way on the back foot, deep in the crease. He thinks it's turning too much. Long and hard. Was Kettleborough thinking about that? Sandakan, legal delivery.
There's no problem there. Maybe just the amount of turn that he gets from this delivery. Nathan Lyon playing back and across. Was it going to hit the leg stump? I think so.
I think so too.
The ball just has to be just touching the stump. This occasion, it's looking as though it's going to catch that leg stump, hitting the leg stump. So Nathan Lyon has to go. The umpire's decision will stand, and yes, that's confirmation. So Nathan Lyon is on his way. He's not happy, but it's just amazing how you see the replay, and playing deep in your crease, you're always under pressure as a batsman.
Not far to travel when you're so deep in your crease. Lions gone for 8. Australia slip deeper into trouble. They're 157 for 8. Matthews doesn't pick it up. Very tough as an umpire because so much happening out there. Two noises almost all the time. Oh, he wants to have a look. They're going upstairs for the LBW decision.
Yes, the bowler was very interested in the LBW shot. He wasn't even worried about whether there was a catch involved or bat and pad. It was more, he was always shouting for the LBW. So very rarely bowls a no ball, I would suggest. So fair delivery. And I suppose it's whether it's pitched in line, because the ball definitely straightened. And that's going to be close. It's just height.
It's bounced though. Surprised, Herath rarely does get bounce.
So full ball, pitches in line, and the impact's in line. It's just the height. And the umpire's call. Less than half the ball is hitting the stumps. Gee, that's tight. That's a tight call. There was always going to be the height.
There's a catch at short leg. It's been thrown in the air. And Richard Kettleborough simply isn't interested. And you know what? They haven't got any reviews left, and they won't for another couple of overs.
I think he's hit this. I think Stephen O'Keefe has hit this. The reaction from the Sri Lankans is very positive. There's splinters in the ball. He's smashed that.
No run.
Yes. So that's where you don't just take DRS for granted and just throw it in there just as a whim, because it could come back to bite you.
161 for 8. No run has been scored in the last 115 balls. That's got to be given. Yes, this time they get it. They've been very unlucky when it came to decisions prior, but this time Richard Kettleborough's finger goes up and Steve O'Keefe opts to review it at the 80th over. Both teams get their 2 reviews back, hence Australia do have 2 up their sleeve.
Yeah, it's expected that O'Keefe would review it, because he was really looking very good with his defence, though he was quite lucky and he was given not out. That hit the pad first, so there is no question of an inside edge. So you need to look at what the line would be, but well, it has to be hitting middle stump or hitting the stumps, because don't forget, the on-field umpire's decision is out. But is there an inside edge? Goodness.
Well, the only question in this situation is, was there an inside edge? And just then, looks like there's a bit of deviation.
There seemed to be an inside edge. Definitely that frame tells you that there is an inside edge. The previous frame didn't suggest, but this one.
That's got him. No need to ask the question. Big nick and the first wicket. First test wicket for Dhananjaya De Silva. That one slid on. Everyone knew it. Even we heard it.
Big one. Very big wicket, and couldn't have come at a better time when Sri Lanka have been struggling. Just making sure that his front foot is all right. But Sri Lanka has been desperate. They've been searching for this wicket for quite a long time. And a wide delivery. Didn't have to play at it. Didn't have to play at it. He was tempted. And a good sharp catch by the keeper.
I was wondering why De Silva was bowling. Well, no more questions. I rest my case. Peter Neville gone for 9. Australia 161 for 9. A partnership of 4 runs has been broken after a long, long time. Peter Neville, after facing 115 balls for his 9 runs, couldn't resist. That actually did skid on a little quicker. They got a new ball in their hands, so a bit more life and fizz off the pitch, a bit more pace off it.
So Sri Lanka on the attack. 6 men round the bat. Josh Hazlewood, the last man in for Australia, joining O'Keefe.
I was thinking why Dhananjaya De Silva was bowling. If Matthews wanted an off spinner, you have a front line spinner in Dilruwan Pereira. But Matthews' instincts have worked. The key for the Sri Lankans has also been that they've been patient. It's been a frustrating period. And also looking up at the skies. They've been patient. It's 161 for 9.
Oh, it's dropped. Was there any bat involved there? I rather fancy there was, you know.
Oh, definitely. You can just tell by the reaction from the players around the bat. O'Keefe just had onto probably gloves, and it flew to that man short.
No run, no.
There's Kaushal Silva close in on the offside. Had and then bat, and he had a couple of goes at it. Bowled in! Hirath takes the final wicket. His 5th of the innings, and Sri Lanka have sealed a most remarkable win. Bowled out for just 117 in the first innings. They bounced back. It's Australia's 7th consecutive loss in Asia. Sri Lanka's first test win here in Pallekele, and only their 2nd win against Australia in test history.
Thoroughly deserved. A great performance. We're in all sorts of strife after their batting performance on day 1, and that man, the hero, Ranganath Hirath. What a performance from him, and jubilation from the Sri Lankan players and fans that have turned up for this afternoon's play. The sad and sorry dressing room, the Australians, and I suppose that the plotting starts to how they regroup for the 2nd game.
Australia began the final day at 83 for 3. They slipped by lunch to 141 for 7. They lost 3 wickets in a hurry just before the interval when Steve Smith, Mitchell Marsh and also Mitchell Starc departed. Nathan Lyon, he was out soon after play resumed following the lunch break, but then there was that long period of resistance from Peter Neville and Stephen O'Keefe. Eventually that partnership was broken by Dhananjaya De Silva's first test wicket when Peter Neville departed. Then Stephen O'Keefe following soon afterwards, thanks to Rangana Herath.
The partnerships from the Australians struggling to get going at the top of the order. Burns and Kawaja 31, 30 from Smith and Burns, another 30 from Smith and Voges, and they're the sort of numbers that you need to improve on to win test matches, particularly chase down a target of 260 odd. Great resistance from Neville and O'Keefe, 178 deliveries for just that one solitary boundary. It was quite compelling viewing, even though there wasn't much happening. It built up nicely, but 161 in the second innings after their first innings 200, not good enough. Excellent bowling from all those Sri Lankan bowlers. Herath 5 for 54, led the way. Young Sandakan, 3 wickets for him to go with his 4 in the first innings. Very, very compelling and good performance.
So, at the end of 5 days, this is where we finished up. The number 1 side in the world, Australia, coming here as hot favourites, but they've been overturned by a remarkable Sri Lankan comeback. Sri Lanka bowled out for just 117 on the first day, and yet here we are now, securing a famous win, only their second in Test history against Australia, by 106 runs.
This has been a presentation of Fox Sports.